they are turning our entire area into an area where they want control over how we determine our infrastructure. I think India is now, they want us to destroy our fortified positions, stop building our infrastructure and pull back, not even do patrols. I think it's a very critical situation, and I think countries would have to take a decision. Shankar Prasad, please, I want to bring you. Yes, Shankar Prasad.
Arnab, let us please understand what the Chinese have done right now is a tactical action of 30 people involved in it. Tactically, we have to respond, and perhaps we are responding, and we can continue to respond tactically. While tactical responses are there, we have to look at strategic responses as well. And for a long-term resolution of the disputed area, and to be able to negotiate from a position of strength when the borders have to be finally settled, we have a strategic environment where we can do this. Therefore, we need to develop our infrastructure, create better capabilities, both militarily and diplomatically and economically. And then only we can really negotiate the final settlement of the border. But right now, we cannot show weakness. We cannot show weakness to a tactical maneuver of 30 people. We are capable of responding tactically, and as Casey said, we must respond in whichever way the armed forces and the China Study Group thinks it's appropriate. But at the same time, let us not build up a hype that we want to go to war with China right now. For that, we need to prepare, and we need to prepare for many months before we think of a proper engagement with China.
Nobody wants to go to war, leave alone. Let me also tell you, I think China would not want to go to war with India. They have enough trouble of their own. The problem is they create trouble on our side. Are we completely incapable of creating enough trouble for them?
Of course we can create trouble for them.
And a country
there are many ways we can do that.
Threatened. No, we don't create trouble for them. We are most accommodating. We don't talk of issues which are prickly for them.
And
we don't create trouble in Tibet. We don't talk about Xinjiang. We don't talk about their autonomous groups. We don't embarrass them in international forums. But if that country is going to take us on this military options, why should we rule out any of these options?
Because the first time our Prime Minister meets the new President, Xi Jinping, unsolicited, he asks for the joint mechanism on the Brahmaputra waters and says that we respect China's Tibet policy. That why should you have to say this? The Chinese
you think that's appeasement?
The Chinese don't come and tell you that.
You think our policy of appeasement is something that the Chinese are testing?
No, I think China handling has been on the verge of appeasement. 2 points, Arnab. Why does this happen on the eve of a high-level visit? Before President Hu Jintao, there's ambassador in Delhi suddenly announces Arunachal as ours. Now again on the eve of the prime ministerial visit. Are they having some vulnerabilities at home that they have to appease the hawks before engaging India? That's hardly a way of normal dealings with India. That just on the eve of a visit, you first throw a bone to the PLA and then you start talking to India. I mean, this is very peculiar.
Why do you think that is the case?
No, I don't think that is the case. I think if we look at the 500 plus incursions that are all the time mentioned.
This is a camping.
This is
not an incursion.
Okay, more than an incursion. Yet another episode on the border.
No, this is not yet another.
It's not yet another episode on the border.
Okay.
It's air, land and sea. Water.
Let's talk of the recent incident. I was not trying to refer to that particularly. What I was trying to say is that let us not try and build a construction on the implications or the thought process behind these things just before a visit. I think there are plenty of these episodes which have happened, which have been in and out of.
Do you really believe? Because you really believe that this is just they just walked over. It's like you
look,
know.
I will not speculate on this because I think we can speculate endlessly.
So what is your experience?
No, I have 2 points to make with reference to Tibet on the one hand. I think if you talk to the scholars over there, there is enormous amount of suspicion about India's actual intentions as far as Tibet is concerned. The government in exile is constantly mentioned. The fact that the Dalai Lama has got all sorts of opportunities to make political points, that is constantly seen by the Chinese as, they call it strategic hypocrisy.
I don't
that,
think,
no,
think
I'm just telling you, I am telling
the Dalai
you,
Lama into making political
I am
statements.
telling
Have we?
you,
In fact,
yes,
I think we have been extremely cautious.
He's forbidden from
He's
doing
anyway,
forbidden from making
that may be so, but if you remember,
what gives you the impression that India is encouraging the Dalai Lama to make
I am
political
saying
statements?
the Chinese perception.
No, the Chinese perception
Why?
is wrong.
No, because it was said that we are extremely accommodating
but
and so
does
on.
the Chinese perception have any basis in your view?
I think the fact that there is a government in exile is a fact which can be perceived. I mean, supposing some militant group in the northeast were to go and set up a government in exile across the border, and already we know that some leaders are being given shelter. You see how we perceive it.
See, the question
so we do have our suspicions about what is happening on the border as far as Chinese policy is concerned. So therefore, I'm just trying to bring the point to its conclusion that while there are these perceptions on both sides, and there are enough grounds for each side to suspect the other, and there is all this talk of strategic distrust, my point is, in all this, we have to maintain a core commitment to the dialogic process.
You know, 70% of our trade is tilted in their favor. All their companies do business with us. You know, you know about the trade. Went from 3 billion, it's gone up to some 75, 80 billion, out of which I'm told 57 billion is Chinese.
That's right.
Point is this: we don't have the courage to tell the Chinese, don't try to treat us with contempt. What the Chinese are doing through this entire incident on the Dem Chowk, and Mrinal Suman, I'd like to go back to him once on this, is that they are treating us with absolute contempt. And while General Suman, I appreciate what you're saying, that don't escalate it, but shouldn't we send a message to them a little bit more tough than, you know, saying, oh, this is a small, localized, isolated incident, can we not talk much about it, please?
No, right at the outset I said that it's not a local incident, it's very well thought through, and it's a deliberate mischief to test our resolve, let's say. And I also said that we must deal with it firmness in an unambiguous manner. But that doesn't mean taking military action at the local level, trying to throw out 30 people or 35 people, because when you try adventure of this type, invariably it can spin out of control. Second, what Alka has very rightly said, since 1962, let's grant to the government, for all its mistakes and flaws, that it has ensured that the sanctity of borders vis-a-vis China has been maintained. Since 1962, we haven't lost an inch to China. There may be intrusions, there may be patrolling problems, there may be areas of misperception and things of that nature, but all said and done, the system in place, both diplomatic, economic, the military, flag meetings, they have delivered to the extent that as on date, we are in a comfortable position, and we really have sort of, let's say, not lost any area to the China. So my point is that rather than getting into my point is, rather than getting into belligerence and getting into rhetoric, which may push our government into a corner, forcing it to take a particular course of action, we must give enough leeway to the government to try all avenues at its disposal, including trade, as Arnab, you very rightly said, that diplomatic, talking to the other countries.
Do nothing, expect nothing, be fearful.
I never said that.
Because you cannot build this up.
No, I have never said that.
When
Please do not put words in my mouth. I have never said do nothing.
But and we have in the past as well.
But I have also please do not put words in my mouth. I have never said that. But I have also said don't get into a sumo battle.
Begin with the premise that hello, let's not do anything because we can't take on China all the way.
No,
I don't know if that is the starting ground. Very quickly.
Who is saying do nothing?
You are wrong.
But you're saying don't ratchet it up. Any escalation you describe as
Isn't that what a rational actor would do? Isn't that what mature countries who are supposed to discuss their disputes on the table?
No, they are not discussing. They are not even having a flag meeting.
I'm sorry, there are discussions going on. We don't know what's happening.
No, they have not moved an inch from. If Malka Acharya, if they had gone back, we wouldn't be debating this. If they had gone back, there have been 2 flag meetings, there have been 3 phone calls, there have been innumerable. If they had moved, tonight we would not be sitting and discussing this issue.
No, that's what
we are doing this because they haven't moved. They haven't moved.
Yeah, well, first is that with
we
respect
must
to
recall
Dr.
that
Acharya,
we must
discussions
recall that
take
in
place a lot
2008
between track-through groups and academics. At governmental level, they come for 45-minute meetings, after which half the time goes in interpretation and the rest of the day goes in sightseeing. Let me also tell you the reality.
Quickly.
2 points. One is that the PLA is trying to give a message to the Chinese premier, don't go soft on India. And the second point is that it is not just a coincidence that this happened on 15th April. It was the Chinese white paper that came out on 10th April.
Last word to KC Singh and last word to KC Singh and General Mehta.
I think both the mood of the country, the political mood here, the government has to be sensitive to it. The China policy is too much in the hands of the sinologists. We had a shipwreck 50 years ago in 1962. Let's not repeat it. It's a different India, it's a different Asia, there's a rising China, rising China. It needs to be contained. There's a similar dilemma the US had vis-a-vis Soviet Union in 45. And there was a diplomat in Moscow who sent a long telegram. It's called the long telegram on which containment of Russia is based. 2 years it was ignored by Washington. They tried dealing with the Soviet Union and with Stalin. When he had occupied half of Europe, then they started containment. I think you have to start a containment strategy.
Don't react late.
Economists who say that increase in trade will improve the political environment for border talks. That has proved rubbish. Number two, that these border talks, the 3 series of border talks, were every time torpedoed by the Chinese. The exchange of maps, the demarcation, and now this special representatives at the SR meeting. Nothing has come out of this.
No, they've been dragging their feet the last 2 years.
Nothing has come out of it.
It's a pity.
So nothing will come out of the border talks. And lastly, if we could do a Sumdrong Chu in 1986, why couldn't we have done something like that now?
Well,
we did it.
Well, I think the onus is on the Chinese. General Shankar Prasad, last word to you. I think the government response right now appears to be very cagey and unsure. I mean, there's no other way to describe what the External Affairs Minister said. Very briefly, Shankar Prasad, last word to you before I wrap this up.
Let us keep a strong profile at the tactical level. Let us give a message that we are not a weak country or a weak army, but at the same time, let us today resolve that we are going to improve our infrastructure, our capabilities over a number of years, and then be able to negotiate with them on equal terms, perhaps from a position of strength. Let us not show weaknesses today, but let us also plan for a long-term perspective.
For that, the government needs to move with some resolve.
One last
For that, the government needs to move with some resolve. All ministers, all ministries, external affairs, environment, defense, everybody needs to go together and show some resolve.
Let us not also negate everything that has happened. I think we have plenty to show for the last few decades.
Absolutely.
And let's not
surely we do. Surely we do. But the dragon must be contained at one point. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me on that debate. Thank you.